The Haines-Zancolli test is a test of the oblique retinacular ligament that extends from the proximal phalanx to the distal phalanx and helps control flexion and extension of the distal phalanx. This test differentiates between a tight ligament and joint capsule tightness. This test helps decide between a conservative or surgical approach to treatment. No information can be found in researching the test's sensitivity and specificity. To perform the test, hold the proximal phalanx, the proximal interphalangeal joint, in a neutral position with one hand and flex the distal interphalangeal joint with the other. If the joint will not flex, it indicates either a tight capsule or a tight ligament. If the DIP flexes easily when the PIP is flexed, then it indicates a tight retinacular ligament. If the DIP does not flex easily when the PIP is flexed, then it indicates a capsular tightness. Positive test is confirmed by tight ligament and indicates a possible need for surgical approach. I will demonstrate. Hold the patient's proximal and middle phalanx so that the PIP joint is in neutral. With your other hand, attempt to flex the DIP. If it does not flex, then allow the PIP to flex a little so that the retinacular ligament is in slack. If the DIP still does not flex, then it indicates a tight capsule. If it had flexed, it shows that the ligament was preventing the flexion in our first step. One might explain the test to a patient like this. I want to find out why the end of your finger doesn't bend like it used to. I'm going to try to bend this last joint of your finger while holding your finger up straight like this and when it's bent a little bit. This should be able to tell me what is stopping the finger from bending now. Alright? May I do this test with you? Sure. Relax your hand. Very good. So if this had not bent right now, like this, it would tell me either you have a shortened ligament or a tight capsule right here. That only tells me it's one of those two things. If it didn't bend there, I now know that the end of your finger has a tight joint. If it did bend, I would know that a structure that goes along the whole finger is too short. This concludes the Haines-Zancolli test.